And welcome here, everybody, to Bedford High School here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon, June 1st, for Division I girls lacrosse action here. It is the playoffs. My name's Corey Munstertiger. I'm joined in the booth here today by Jay Abendrath. Jay, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Corey.
No problem. This is the BCTV broadcast. You should be seeing it on Channel 23 or HD 1072. We welcome in our Merrimack neighbors. They are on TV EDU 21 or HD 1071. And we're ready for some lacrosse action. The Bulldogs come in the number 1 seed, 15-1 on the regular season. Their only loss coming to Lincoln Sudbury early in the season by a goal. Otherwise, they were dominant throughout their regular season. And the Merrimack girls come in as the 8th seed with a 7-8 record. Should see some pretty good lacrosse action this afternoon here, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, what a beautiful day. This is playoff lacrosse weather. And I'll tell you, Corey, look at this team, this Bedford team. They've done a great job all season. And it really shows with those pretty heavy senior and junior lineup, really that experience coming through for this team at the right time of the year.
This senior class headlined by several high scorers throughout the regular season. Of course, Regan O'Brien, Ellie Enners, two to mention. Sydney Grogan dominant throughout the midfield. They're getting a lot of help from junior Liv Matthews, who will take the draw this evening to start things out. Also anchored by a strong senior class at defense there. Of course, Vivian Robinson, Sabrina Tipping, Kira Abdel Sayed, 3 of the 4 starters, seniors, and ready to make a run throughout this playoff season. So we're just about ready for the draw here. Again, Liv Matthews will be taking it for Bedford, and Lily Marshall will take it for the Merrimack Tomahawks. We are underway. Did not go high enough, so we are not quite underway. We will redraw. Bedford taking their traditional defensive stance. They bring Regan O'Brien up to the center circle from her attack position and put Sydney Grogan back in the defensive end. And Regan O'Brien, on time, picks up the loose ball from the opening draw.
Yeah, nice start. It's always good to get that first face-off control play, hold the ball a little bit, and get settled into your offense.
And that's just what they'll do. The Bulldogs set up their even offense, 7-on-7 lacrosse here. Up top to Sydney Grogan. Looks inside. Liv Matthews snipes and scores. Quick start as Sydney Grogan gets the assist to Liv Matthews. Nice little cut through the middle. Lefty Cash up top over the right shoulder of goalie Emma Chorette.
Yeah, really nice dish and great shot. Great way to start some offense there, moving your legs, getting that cut in front of the defender. Very nice move by Matthews.
That movement in the offense just creates so much for everybody, right? Even if you cut through hard, you're drawing defenders, you're drawing attention. It just opens up so many different options for the ball carrier to drive, to feed, potentially to make their own move and shoot. Saw that there with Matthews on a strong cut through. Back to the draw. This time controlled by Merrimack. Scooping up the ground balls, Ava Martin. She'll settle things down, and the Tomahawks will have their first offensive possession. Far side, that's Peyton Trapani. Now behind, Lexi Bell. Back up top, this is Jackie Hayes. Back to Bell. Ball's on the ground. Sydney Grogan chasing down the loose ball, gets tied up in her feet, but she finally scoops up to Lucy. And they fire it near side, Regan O'Brien.
Yeah, nice ground ball by Grogan, staying with it, using her feet to keep it in front of her, get away from the sticks. Was able to start an offensive possession for the Bulldogs.
Slippery ball behind there as Denon having a tough time keeping track of it. Now Audrey Purnell and around the horn.
It's a greaser, Corey.
Could be, could be. We talked about a greaser the last time. It's lacrosse speak for a bad lacrosse ball as the ball gets shot and saved here by Chorette. Nice save, stick side high on O'Brien. Now Chorette will look to clear.
This is going to be one of those games, Corey, with the heat pretty high. Being able to control the ball is going to be incredibly important for both teams to make sure that they give their defense and offense a rest in this heat.
Yeah, and the girls' game is played a lot in transition, especially with these strong midfielders for the Bulldogs. So we'll see if that heat is a factor this afternoon. That patient half-field offense and settled offense is going to be crucial for both teams' success. I see the goalie is wearing 32. We don't have a 32 on this roster, but it was starred that Emma Chorette is the starting goalie, so perhaps there was a number change there. I hope that's her. Ellie enters with a nice little dodge and finishes and puts the Bulldogs up 2-0.
Yeah, really nice face dodge there. Started to drive to the right hand, a big sweeping play, and was able to turn on a dime. Face dodge meaning pulling the stick across your face in your right hand, so it's on the left side of your body to get around the defender. Burst of speed, and then you're one-on-one with the goalie, and was able to get it in the goal.
Dunked it up high, puts the Bulldogs up 2-0. Yeah, the change of direction is something that Enders is seen a lot of success with. Driving one direction, planting, changing direction, keeping her defender off balance. So this time Regan O'Brien will take the draw against Lily Marshall. Does not go high enough, or actually they're going to call an infraction. So Merrimack will come away with the ball. Again, Ava Martin scoops it up. Grogan on defense. Now kicked it back to Lily Marshall. Marshall sees a little daylight and draws a foul. Liv Matthews will be sent behind. And now Lily Marshall will have the 8-meter free position, top left of goalie Grace Stewart. Shot, score. Lily Marshall puts the Tomahawks on the board, 2-1. Nice overhand shot. Beats Stewart on the stick side.
Yeah, tough infraction. It was hard defense by Matthews. Got called for a push, and Merrimack was able to, didn't really actually rush into the goal. Was able to snipe the corner from a few 8 meters out. So really nice play there.
Such a fine line, too, between that even pressure versus extending their arms. I'm speaking specifically of Liv Matthews on the defense there. Even pressure is okay. Extending the arms out and pushing is not as a defender. So, unfortunately, Matthews gets called for the infraction there. Leads to that 8-meter. Matthews gets control of the draw here, and the Bulldogs are back on offense. Tried to get the feeder. O'Brien through the middle. Enders picks up the loose ball, and she'll score her second of the evening. 3-1 now. The Bulldogs lead on Enders' goal.
It was a really nice play. She was able to keep active in the middle of the field. Wasn't able to get the first pass, but was able to pick up the change there. And again, a face dodge, get around the defender, and put it in the back of the goal. Good action by the Bulldogs this early in the game.
Yeah, I think that initial cutter was actually Regan O'Brien sniping through the middle there and trying to get an easy one on the doorstep. It tipped off of her stick, and Enders was there for the garbage goal. We call it a garbage goal. That's no disrespect to Ellie, of course. That's not necessarily the prettiest of plays, right? An assist to a stick and a snipe of a corner. She's there scooping up a ground ball and making good use of a fortunate situation.
That's right. Opportunistic.
Yeah,
is a good way.
Yeah. Opportunistic. Yeah, sure. Wayward pass here by the Tomahawks leads to a turnover. So Abdel Sayed will scoop it up for the Bulldogs. Enters up quickly. Grogan now in transition. She'll just keep going right down the pipe and score. Draws a crowd. 3 bodies tumble right there in front of the cage, but Sydney Grogan's going to come away with the goal. on a beautiful run as it started way back, probably around midfield.
Yeah, she earned that one. She started out with a really nice fake to her left-hand side, pulled the defender away from her a little bit, created a bit of an opening, and said, it's my turn.
So back to the center circle for the draw. The Bulldogs lead 4-1, 4.5 minutes into this first half. It's the 1-8 matchup here as we start the playoffs. Merrimack winning against Exeter 15-14 in the 8-9 matchup. And the winner of this game will take on the 4-5 matchup of Nashua South, the 4, and Pinkerton, the 5. That game will be played on Saturday. "20 minutes to go here in the first half, 4-1. Bedford leads.
Yeah, in the first few minutes, we're starting to see Bedford have some of that advantage in the possession. It's really going to pay dividends later in the game. Again, hot day, be able to control the pace of the game, keep Merrimack on their heels on defense.
Get another goal here by Grogan. Her second of the game. Bulldogs go up 5-1. So again, the winner of this game here will play against the winner of Nashua South versus Pinkerton. Pinkerton is up in the second half of that game, 7-5. These two winners will square off at 7 p.m. on Saturday evening over in Exeter. The other 4 teams that round out the Division I playoff scene, the number 2 seed Portsmouth is taking on 7 seed Sauhegan. And the 3 seed Dover takes on 6 Bishop Girton. That semifinal will be at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Again, over at Exeter. Back to the draw, controlled by Maddie Kiley. Nicely done as it pops right up and finds her stick. Quick pass down low. They can't make the connection with Denon. And Chorette with the outlet pass misses. Tipping scoops up the loose ball. Finds some room and finds Grogan.
Really nice pressure by the Bulldogs on that errant pass from the goalie, able to scoop it up and again retain possession for their offense.
Looks like Abdel Sayed is getting a little bit of run at midfield as Grogan has switched back to a defensive role. Abdel Sayed normally a defender. In the offensive area here. Takes a shot, nice save, Chorette. Got down to her low right. Keeps the score 5-1.
Yeah, very nice save by the goalie. It was a little bit low, but it was stick side, and she followed it all the way from the stick into hers. So those are the types of plays that Merrimack has got to get more of, but has got to stop those opportunities.
Great play here. That's Lily Marshall into Peyton Trapani. Finds the back of the net. 5-2.
I gotta say, Corey, each of these goals has been very well placed today by both teams. We're seeing some experienced snipers out there.
Absolutely. Trapani made a nice little cut through the midfield. Great pass right to her stick side. And as you mentioned, she sniped that top left side, stick side high on Stewart. So 5-2, 18:34 to go in the first half here. Kiley will go back to the draw for Bedford against Lily Marshall for Merrimack. It's up again. Controlled by Grogan. Not surprising. She seems to be a Hoover vacuum out there.
Yeah, she's having a really nice game so far.
Abdel Sayed gets fouled but keeps going.
I think Kylie's doing a really nice job on those face-offs as well. She's using her lengths, her long arms, and the ability to reach and keeping the play alive when, without enough hustle, Merrimack would have the ball. So she's doing a great job.
A couple different formations here as Purnell and Kiley are up top here. We normally see that starting midfield running a bit of a weave across the top side.
Yeah, it's almost like a spread offense, if you're familiar with that, Corey, which I know you are.
Making room for each other. Here goes Regan O'Brien. Gets to her strong hand lefty and buries. So O'Brien gets in the scorebook for her first goal. 6-2 now, Bedford, with 17:34 to go in the first half here.
Yeah, we were joking about it, but I think it's true. Creating space for others. When you pull everybody out and around the semicircle outside of the goal, that one-on-one driver, the defense has no slide, no one to come and help because they're out playing the other women. So really nice use of the formation for Bedford, and they were able to go one-on-one. Nice lefty score.
And that's O'Brien going to her strong hand, finding a little crease there as she got into great scoring position and cashed in. So back to the draw. Scooping up here is Jackie Hayes for the Tomahawks. She gets fouled and will scoop up the loose ball. Restarts. Back to Marshall. Marshall double, now triple teamed. Pass to the cutter. That was Hayes again. Scoops it behind as she got double teamed. Now Ava Martin. Marshall looks to go one-on-one, gets to her strong hand. Ooh, gets fouled. In the middle, and Marshall will have another 8-meter free position as Abdel Sayed will be sent behind. Top center hash for Marshall. Good scoring position. Stewart will step off of her line and look to make the save here. Shot goes high, and well positioned behind is Makita Berry. As she was standing on the end line, backing it up, and she'll come away with the restart. Berry showing some legs through the midfield here. She clears it out. And now Matthews will settle down.
Yeah, really nice job by Grace Stewart on that 8-meter shot, standing tall into her goal. An imposing figure in there, and was able to make, cause, let's say, the wayward shot. Nice job.
Now, just a goalie stance can be intimidating for a shooter. I mean, it all depends on mindset there. And if you stand tall with confidence, you could cause that second thought or a little glimmer of doubt in the shooter's mind. O'Brien. Cutter through the middle, shot score. Beautiful pass and catch. Ella Dacos from behind. Cashes in on the assist from Regan O'Brien.
Yeah, it was a great look from where we're sitting here in the press box. Able to go lefty again. And it looked like there was a bit of a pick play down behind in the right way where, free Bedford player was able to come around pretty much unchecked. And a 2-meter shot finds the goal.
That was the cutter Dacos, the junior attacker, getting some time here in this first round playoff game as the score is 7-2 with 15:34 remaining in the first half. We go to the center circle for another draw. Maddie Kiley again will match up. This time Ava Martin will take the draw for the Tomahawks. Scramble in the middle, and Martin comes away with it. Drops it, unfortunately, and right there for the quick ground ball was Audrey Purnell. O'Brien showing some wheels there as she chases down the ground ball. Somewhat of an ill-advised pass into the middle, but trying to get her teammate a goal as Denon was right there on the doorstep. And now, tough foul there deep in the corner. I believe Dacos will be called for a foul.
Yeah, good hustle on both sides. Bit of sloppy play, though. as you said, O'Brien, I think that was O'Brien running down the sidelines, had her eyes. She had the goal in her mind, but was unable to connect with her teammate coming across the middle for the open shot.
Referees huddle up here a little bit. They might be considering a penalty on Dacos, or since Merrimack was offside, they may be granting possession back to Bedford. There were only 3 attackers on the Merrimack side, so now it does look like Bedford is moving into a more offensive position here. And yes, the Merrimack player does drop the ball. I believe that was the call. That Merrimack only had 3 attackers forward of that defensive restraining line. So an offside play will turn into a Bedford possession. O'Brien back on the attack. Looking to feed righty this time. Finds the cutter through the middle. Purnell scores. Good versatility there by O'Brien. She picks up her 2nd assist, and this time to Audrey Purnell, the junior midfielder, cutting through and cashing from the center. 8-2 is your score. 14:30 to go in the first half. We have a timeout by the Tomahawks. About what we expected to see with the start here, Jay. High-powered offense, 15-1 team coming in as the #1 seed, and they're starting to creep away here early.
Yeah, exactly. You see the ability here, the pass catch. We saw Regan O'Brien there, able to use both hands effectively, assisting righty on our offhand to the cutter. I really think the hallmarks of this are a lot of hustle, a lot of ground balls, and the possession. Again, will do wonders for the Bulldogs come second half.
Couple quick score updates for folks out there. The baseball team has beaten Nashua South. Thank you. Appreciate that, Andrew. 3-1 was your final this afternoon. They will take on Londonderry on Saturday. A couple other upcoming playoff games. The boys lacrosse team will play Merrimack on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. That will be here at Bedford High School. You can catch any other playoff games locally on Xfinity Channel 23 or HD 1072, bedfordtv.com, or the BCTV app. Be sure to check out BCTV's social media and the NHCCM sports broadcast schedule for all upcoming games. It's playoff season, Jay. Always an exciting time of the year.
Oh, absolutely. This is what lacrosse playoffs feels like too. Nice hot day, a lot of energy going on, and I think that this is the best time of year, Corey.
I imagine that you were tuned in over the Memorial Day weekend to catch the NCAA tournament as the Final Four happened down at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
I was, and it's one of these things where Notre Dame has been trying for so long. I think Kevin Corrigan has been at that team for 20-some, almost 30 years. So congratulations to him, finally turning the corner. They've had great teams for a long, long time. So it's nice to see him, even though he's the Irish and not my hometown Orange. Nice to see them come home with a victory.
Congratulations for Notre Dame for winning that. I believe Salisbury won the Division III championship. Or was it Lemoyne that took home the
I think so.
D2 championship?
Another upstate stalwart, Dan Sheehan.
All around fun lacrosse weekend, especially if you were in Philadelphia. Regan O'Brien comes away with the loose ball off of the ensuing draw. Back to Liv Matthews. The Bulldogs will slow things down. Looks like the starting team is mostly back out there for the Bulldogs. Matthews rolls back to her strong hand. Great save. Oh, actually, no, I thought that was a save. That hit one of the defenders in front. So that will be a penalty on Liv Matthews. That's the dangerous propulsion or dangerous shot. So 13:56 to go in the first half. Matthews will head to the sideline for 2 minutes on that penalty.
Yeah, and it really did look like she had an open shot there with a really nice save by the goalie, but I think you're right, Corey. This was a unsafe release there, and the ball turns the other way for Merrimack.
Official was right there, had a good vantage point, saw it strike the defensive player, and made the right call. If, again, as you mentioned and as I said, it looked like it hit the goalie. It looked like Charette got across for that offside save, but no, it hit the defender right in front.
Yeah, and even with that infraction, I think overall Bedford's been doing a really nice job generating their own shots, open shots in this game.
Ball down in the midfield here. This is Jackie Hayes with the ground ball, now weaving through traffic. Nice pass up ahead. This is Ava Martin. Martin gets to her right hand, takes a shot, but beforehand she was fouled on her way in. Ooh. Okay, so I think we're going to have a similar call as Martin's shot bounced off the defender there. So a little bit of a strange call. I thought it was Tipping's stick that got in the way, but apparently it hit her body somewhere. So again, the official was right there. Dangerous shot or dangerous propulsion, and Ava Martin will be sent off for 2 minutes.
Yeah, you got to give it to the ref there. It's their call. They're standing right there behind. So couldn't see it from up here, but Bedford is the beneficiary, and they'll take the offensive possession.
So the Bulldogs back into the offensive area. They'll be playing 6-on-6, normally what you'd see in the boys' game, as both teams are down a player at this point. Looking to go one-on-one here is Maddie Kiley, but finds the cutter through the middle, and Ellie Enners cashes in. Enners with her third goal of the game, and Kiley will pick up the assist.
Yeah, Enners, really nice cut across the middle. It looks like Bedford's got a pretty nice play going on where they create some confusion up on top of the goal, and the defense has to turn their back to the ball, and that's where one of three players can come around and cut, and they've been able to capitalize on that a couple times today.
Stacking the players away from the ball, trying to get those either picks or defensive confusion type plays to get their sticks open and available for shots. So 12:42 left in the first half. We're just about halfway through the first half. 9-2, the Bulldogs lead. Moving early was O'Brien. She'll be called for an infraction. So Lily Marshall will scoop up that ball. Now legging in to the offensive area, Peyton Trapani. Marshall drops the ball, scooped up momentarily by Enners. I think we'll get an empty check there, and Enners will get possession. Tipping now, chased down from behind, but illegal check. Tipping restarts. Jogs into the offensive area, and we'll settle things.
Yeah, with 11 minutes and 50-some seconds left, I'm wondering where Bedford's going to go now. Are they going to create some more possession time or go right to the goal? What do you think, Corey?
I think they're going to the goal, as we see here. Grogan on the feed from Matthews scores, but there was a whistle beforehand, so Grogan gets fouled. It looks like she'll have a free position top center hash. So wiped off for now, but Grogan has the free position. Charette stands tall in her cage. Grogan takes a few steps in and cashes offside high. And she has 3 goals this evening, and the Bulldogs are up 10-2.
Yeah, I guess they answered my question for me. Foot on the pedal.
Yeah.
Do not release.
Well, it'll be nice to see some of the substitutes come in, too, as we see trotting in from the sideline, Kayla Gibson. She'll get her first action this evening on the offensive end. Purnell will trot back on the defensive end. Coach Hodgson does a nice job of positioning her players more conservatively. So they have 5 players in the defensive end and only 3 in the attacking end to start these draws. Matthews wins the draw to O'Brien. Back to Matthews in the middle. Drives hard. Good double team, and now O'Brien takes a shot, misses low right, and Chorette is there for the backup.
Yeah, I think that shot surprised by Matthews surprised her teammates. No backup going back, and Chorette was able to be the closest to the ball on the end line as the goalie.
So Chorette dumps it near side. This is Summer Dalbach-Joyal. She gets fouled. We'll scoop it back up and restart. Again, a beautiful evening here in Bedford, New Hampshire. It was over 90 degrees today. Still probably hovering close to that, if not dipping down into the high 80s. But absolutely gorgeous way to start June. End of year activities are happening at the high school with senior projects today and tomorrow. Graduation, of course, next Saturday. Turnover here by the Tomahawks. So Robinson will pick it up on the end line for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's a tough, unforced error by Mia Flores. Kind of took her eye off the ball, getting ready to pass it around the horn. Went out of bounds, so Bedford gets the ball again.
Stewart's outlet pass misses the mark. Scooped up by Purnell, luckily. And now Matthews runs away from pressure. Finds the cutter in the middle, enters, scores. So Matthews picks up her assist. Enters gets her 4th of the game. We'll get another timeout. 9:30 to go in the first half. 11-2 is your score. The Bulldogs lead by 9.
Yeah, and we see them really almost dominating in many facets of the game. Defensively, they're able to pack it in, not allow easy shots, and we've seen Bedford be able to generate offense, obviously from the fast breaks, like we just saw there, but also the set pieces, having the formations to create space for their goal scorers.
All of that leading, that transition, those open shots, leading to a 9-goal lead here with 9.5 to go in the first half. So BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easier to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on Apple iOS and Android. Download the Bedford Community Television app from your app store today. Great way to pick up old games, review game film. For all of you lacrosse junkies out there, you can go back throughout the season and check out all the games that we've broadcast. Score update for everybody out there. Nashua South leads in the second half. 4:10 left in that game. They lead 8-7 over Pinkerton. So that would be the 4 seed playing host down at Stellos. They are leading Pinkerton by a goal late in that game. Again, the winner of that game would face the winner from this game, 7 p.m. on Saturday night over at Exeter in the semifinals. You can also check out more BHS sports action from Bedford Community TV on your Apple TV and Roku. You can watch on Amazon Fire TV via the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Download the app to watch the next game live on your big screen at home. It's also a cool thing that the BCTV crew is doing about local news. They've created Bedford Buzz. They understand the importance of being informed about the latest happenings in our own backyard. The Buzz brings you up-to-date news, interviews, and insightful features, ensuring you're always in the know, whether you're a longtime resident or a newcomer to our beloved town. The Bedford Buzz is your essential source for all things local. It can be viewed on BCTV Channel 16, HD 1072, the BCTV app, or the BCTV YouTube channel. Tune in today to catch the latest episode and immerse yourself in the Bedford experience like never before. Great job by the Grand Poobah, Bill Jennings, Andrew Fenn here on camera today, helping with production of that series for all the Bedford local residents.
I can't wait. For one, to watch, be part of the buzz.
I can hear the excitement in your voice. That's fantastic. How many episodes are out there right now, Andrew? We got two episodes. Started just recently in the last few weeks, so 2 episodes out there already. Bringing you some great content here from Bedford, New Hampshire.
I can't decide. Do you wait and watch them as they come out, or do you wait and binge watch them?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. What's your flavor? What's your binge show?
Oof. Ted Lasso's going away, so that's a tough one to eat. But I don't know. I'm a cooking guy, Corey. Cooking in sports.
Yeah, Cutthroat Kitchen on for you.
Yep. Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Coming all the way through is Marshall. She looks like she was fouled as she was in the scoring area, so I believe she'll get a free position shot. There are a few local eateries that were on Triple D, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Guy Fieri.
That's right.
You've been able to hit up any of those since you've become a resident in the last few years?
I have not.
Shot is wide here. Marshall can't find the cage, and backing it up again. Great position by Makita Berry. She scoops it up. Near side, Robinson. 2 defenders trailing her, runs into a triple team. Wow, avoids the sideline quite well and finds Matthews. Up ahead to Enners. Now they have an odd person break. Enners makes a dodge, save Chorette. Beautiful save. Stepping strong, punching that right hand and coming up with the save. That's Emma Chorette.
Yeah, and Enners there did all the work. Actually, the whole team, really nice passing, eyes up. Enners did all the work, got there, and Chorette was able to slam the door with a very nice save.
Those are tough ones. High to high, stick side. Love to see a little fake there, maybe a dip and dunk.
Behind the back, perhaps?
Oh, a little BTB. I mean, we don't want to get too fancy, though.
It's that time of year, though, Corey.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you got the skills. You might as well show them. So Maddie Kiley gets the pass from Regan O'Brien. They'll settle things down. Matthews now back up top. I know your lacrosse heritage like to show that little flash here and there. The Syracuse Orangemen.
It was almost required to be part of the team. And
encouraged, if not required. It's a prerequisite, right?
Encouraged only if you scored.
Right. Now, if you missed the cage, I'm sure Coach Simmons would go bananas.
That's right. Goal
here by Regan O'Brien, cutting through the middle. O'Brien with her second to go with 2 assists.
Goal for Regan O'Brien.
7:01 left in the first half. 12-2 is your score.
Yeah, and we see here what an asset it is to have both righties and lefties and women who are able to use both hands. She's able to really open up another side of the field that if you were only righties, you would probably not use that side of the field as much. And so she's doing a great job keeping herself active and available for those scores.
And a fantastic dynamic with Liv Matthews being the midfielder with her strong hand being her left. So those two paired with Grogan and Enners, the 2 righties, create a lethal combination for the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs lead by 10 here, just over 6 minutes to go in the first half. Coach Hodgson has been filtering in some of her seldom used players. Great to see them getting some time here. Good defensive play there on the end line as Ariana Arnold is able to lightly nudge Maddie Kiley out of bounds. Won't say it was a push. There was no infraction there. It was simply good defense causing the turnover, and now Chorette looks for an outlet pass.
Yeah, she was able to coerce or persuade.
Hayes' pass sails high. Turnover by the Tomahawks. We'll give it back to the Bulldogs.
I do like what the Tomahawks are trying to do on the clear, though. They're releasing a midi down, going towards the goalie to try to make an open, free player to catch the ball and get the ball moving.
The play is there. The connection has not been, or at least the first or the second. They've had trouble connecting those passes through midfielder and getting those clears, if you will. Open clears. And we'll tick down to 5 minutes. Nashua South has taken a 2-goal lead down there in that tilt, 9-7. Just about a minute to go in that quarterfinal game. There's the flash you were hoping for. O'Brien can't make the connection with Matthews, but scooping up the loose ball is Matty Kiley and then getting it to Matthews. So Kiley to Matthews, and it pushes out to a 13-2 lead.
Yeah, it was a really nice way to kind of disguise a set play that they ran. They brought Matthews and Kiley behind the goal and were able to drive one. I guess it was O'Brien, actually. It was O'Brien who drove and then turned back behind her, and Matthews was there to pick up and score. Really nice play.
Yeah, I think that was the flash, too. It was a little behind the back look back to Matthews. His lefty-to-lefty connection. They just couldn't quite complete it, but again, Kiley was there to scoop up the scraps. Quick pass to Matthews, and the score is 13-2. Draw control here by Ava Martin, but then misses the connection. Now good interception here by Lexi Bell. Loose ball again finds Sydney Grogan's stick. Natalie Denon will settle things down. 3:30 to go here in the first half. Bulldogs lead by 11.
Yeah, and here they are again in that spread offense. No one in the crease, really spreading out Merrimack, giving them an opportunity for one-on-one drives.
Yeah, normally you'd see a bit more conservative defense here as the Tomahawks would keep their heels on that fan. Good cut here through the middle. Purnell from Denon. Purnell's second of the game, and Denon gets into the scorebook with an assist.
Yeah, we saw their cut pretty much unchecked into the middle. I wonder if Merrimack's not lulled into that defense where they're rimming the outside of the 12-meter mark, allowing the cutters from Bedford to come in and fill that space, because there's a wide open cutter there. It's not good defense, Corey.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, what do? You're in a tough position there. You pack it all the way in, and the Bulldogs are just going to run time off the clock. You know, it's a 12-goal lead here, so if you extend out, you get into that same challenging position that you have no help defense. So it's a double-edged sword, a damned if you do and a damned if you don't, right?
That's right. That's right.
So we head back to the center circle for another draw. Matthews wins it forward. Kiley scoops up the loose ball, runs through the middle, and scores. So Kiley gets her first goal of the game to go along with her 2 assists. And it pushes out to 15-2. You can see the shoulders sag a little bit of the Tomahawks defense there. That was frustratingly easy for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of individual Bulldogs win the one-on-one battle, and that's opening up all these opportunities for either cutters or going right to the goal. Bedford's taking advantage of 15 of them.
But who's counting?
Who's counting? That's right.
So we tick down to 1:20 to go in the first half. Back to the draw circle. Liv Matthews will face Peyton Trapani this time. And it's up and ready. Matthews comes away with that.
Yeah, good draw control there. Pop it up to herself.
Knows where it's coming out, can anticipate the direction. how far away from that center dot it will be, and fields it with ease. 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Jay, as we go closer to halftime, Coach Hodgson has a 13-goal lead in her quarterfinal playoff game. How do you approach the second half if you're her?
You know, this may be one of the ones with such a experienced team where you ask the girls, you know, what do we feel like doing? Do we want to rest because we got bigger games coming up, or do you want to get some more run, get to be on the field with your teammates, and you know, keep a little bit of momentum? I would say, Corey, you let the starters continue along, but with this type of heat, you fill in others as necessary, because this type of heat can take its toll not just for tonight but future days, and recovery is important for their next game.
So we'll see how close Nostra J is on his predictions for the second half. The time runs out on this first half. 15-2 is your score. The Bulldogs lead over visiting Merrimack in this quarterfinal playoff action. We'll take a short break and join you for second half after about 5 minutes. The girls are taking on the visiting Merrimack Tomahawks. Second half ready to begin here. Bulldogs came out and dominated the first half. 15-2 is your halftime score. And Jay, you were predicting that a few subs would be filtered in. I am seeing pretty much their entire starting team out there.
I think that's right.
So maybe after a couple minutes of up and down play, we'll start to see some of the less frequently seen players out here.
And to be clear, I said that we would leave it to the upper class to make the decision.
True. So maybe they'll take themselves out.
That's right. No, it's good to see him. I do expect this starting team to be out here and get some good minutes, keep the momentum up before relinquishing their spots to other players on the field.
Matthews gets it going her way, and then an empty check gives it to the Bulldogs to start this second half. Audrey Purnell trots it in. She'll settle things down.
Yeah, and it's been tough going for Merrimack, and I think it's going to get a little bit tougher. Now they're staring into the sun, the setting sun, so it's going to be tough to see the ball from the Merrimack goalie.
Emma Chorette has made a couple of nice saves in that first half against the onslaught from this Bulldogs squad, and now she has that added factor as the sun sets over our right shoulder, but right in the eyes from a top right shot on Chorette. A shot here saved by Chorette, but I think we're going to have a push in the middle. Yeah, as Grogan took a spill after she did shoot, so Grogan will have a free position from that top center hash. She adjusts her hair and her goggles, and now she's ready to fire away on Chorette. Takes a step in, bouncer is in. Grogan now with 4 goals. Quick scoring summary for you right now. 16 goals for the Bulldogs, 4 of them and an assist coming from Sydney Grogan. 4 goals from Ellie Enners, 2 from Audrey Purnell, 2 from Olivia Matthews, 2 from Regan O'Brien, and then 1 each from Maddie Kiley and Ella Dacos. That rounds out the 16 for the Bulldogs. 2 goals on the Tomahawk side, 1 from Lily Marshall and 1 from Peyton Trapani. That completes their scoring on the afternoon.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of Bedford Bulldogs on the score sheet, which is great. I'm also really impressed by Regan O'Brien being able to open up the field. That was a righty feed into Grogan before the penalty. Her offhand creating opportunities from both sides of the field.
Highly skilled player. It's been fun to see her develop and succeed over the years of watching her play lacrosse.
Where is she headed to, Corey, this year?
She'll be going to University of Pennsylvania in the fall to continue her lacrosse career. Great job by the Tomahawks to control that draw. We'll get into the offensive end. Running time here in the second half as the score is over 12 goals. The margin that is.
Yeah, it's good to see a lot of these women able to go off and play in other places. As I remind my freshman son, it's student athlete, not athlete student. And these women have embodied that pretty well. Good to see them getting through their senior year and having a big future in front of them.
And this is a class of seniors that has had a lot of success in the classroom as well. So I know Athletic Director Corey Parker is sitting over to my left. I know he would agree with that. These kids are fantastic athletes, but also fantastic students, and they're going to be able to continue on with that, as you mentioned, as student athletes. Matthews out on transition. Good hustle back by Ava Martin. Purnell now can't make the connection, but scoops it up on the ground ball. And now the Bulldogs into the offensive area. Little shadow of the moon coming up over that deep left corner. Matthews stings the upper right corner on the cut through the middle. And she has a hat trick now.
Yeah, I think it was a feed from Enners. Again, a little bit of action, cutting into the middle. Bedford's able to generate offense pretty much at will at this point by moving their legs and pinpoint passing.
And that angle that Liv Matthews shoots from, it's not that classic overhand. She comes from the side quite a bit and has great accuracy with that sidearm shot, usually catching the goalies off guard. And now we're going to start to see some of those substitutions. Enners and Matthews trot to the side. Dacos and Gibson will come in on the offensive side. Purnell will trot back. Tipping will come out on the defensive end. That looks like Andy Nugent trotting in for the Bulldogs on the defensive end.
Man, you see a lot of the young players get taught shoot straight overhand, straight up and down. What that does is these experienced players, by shooting sidearm, they can both go left or right or up and down. It opens up a lot more possibilities than perhaps going straight up and down where you only have one plane up and down to score.
Yeah, and that goes back to the fundamentals, too. If kids are just learning to play the game, that sidearm shot is really hard to control. However, as you hone your skills, get more experience, and get more accuracy, that's the key, is the accuracy. That sidearm shot can be a lethal weapon. So the Bulldogs control the draw. O'Brien now looks for the cutting Maddie Kiley. They missed the connection, but Purnell is there for the loose ball. O'Brien now will take a shot and score low. O'Brien now has her hat trick, 3 goals, 2 assists to go along with that. Just over 19 minutes to go here in the game. 18-2 is your score. Bulldogs are up big here in the second half. The Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club is always looking for new members and volunteers to help support the Bedford High School athletic programs. The Booster Club meets in the BHS Media Center at 7 p.m. on the first Wednesday of every month. Visit bbabc.net to learn more about how you can help or request more information.
So, Corey, on the lighter side, he brought up lethal weapon. Are you more Murtaugh or Riggs?
Come on. How can you not be a Mel Gibson fan in his prime, right? I mean, that's fantastic. It's just great. Great series overall. I mean, you know, the first one takes the cake, but that was one that didn't necessarily drastically decline with each episode, right? Mm-hmm. It was still solid.
Yep. A lot of parallels, seeing the same type of teamwork on this Bedford team.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yep.
Trust, you know, a certain amount of respect, yet they gave each other quite a hard time and would have that relationship where they could rib each other, right?
That's right, but hopefully no dislocated shoulders.
No, well, you know, again, if it was at a whim with no pain and it gives you an advantage, why not?
It'd give you a better shooting angle, that's probably.
I mean, that would definitely throw Emma Shorett for a loop there. If say, you know, Sydney Grogan dislocated her shoulder and shot at sidearm.
Yep. Next level stuff there.
Speaking of next level, that was a great ground ball by Audrey Purnell through the middle. In traffic, scooping it up with several sticks flailing around. Denon looks to go with the question mark. Oh, low shot save, Emma Chorette. Got down and deflected it wide. Now Gibson comes from behind and she'll get fouled.
Yeah, we see good patience from the Bedford Bulldogs, and I think Merrimack's got a little bit of life here just for this spurt, packing in a bit on defense, closing the door on open runners.
Solid team defense, help defense as players were needing assistance from adjacent defenders. Feed into the middle, Purnell. Too much traffic, so she'll pull it out. Abdel Sayed getting a little run on the offensive end here. Last home game of the season, we were graced with Kira Abdel Sayed up here in the press box as she sang the national anthem before the start of the game. That was senior night. It was an awesome display of her talent. A little out of breath as she trotted up here from the field after warm-ups, sang the anthem, and then had to sprint back down to start the game. Versatile kid. Feed in the middle to Dacos. She scoops up the ground ball and gets fouled in the scoring area.
Yeah, really nice awareness and traffic there coming up with the ground ball and being able to keep control and pull the foul.
So Dacos, top center hash, squares off against Emma Chorette. Couple steps in, gets fouled again, but the goal is good. Dacos gets into the book. Second goal of the game for Ella, the junior attacker. Just over 15 to go on this running clock here in the second half. 19-2 is your score.
Yeah, we've seen great use of that face dodge by a lot of the Bedford players, being able to get away from the stick instead of shooting in that stick, which is not allowed, and into the body, able to face guard, keep the defender at bay, burst of speed, and then bring it back to the right-hand side and score.
Little shifty maneuvers through the chaos there in the middle. And we're back to the draw. It looks like Sydney Grogan will take the draw. Kira Abdel Sayed scoops the loose ball. Great job on that on the one-hopper. Down to Denon. Denon can't control it. Chorette steps out of her cage for the loose ball. Into transition now, Lily Marshall. Tomahawks looking to capitalize on this transition. Well defended by the Bulldogs, so she'll settle things down behind.
Yeah, very nice job funneling her away from the goal, using their feet for body position, able to stop a fast break opportunity.
Clock ticks down under 14 minutes. The Tomahawks back in the offensive end. Ironically, the boys team will be playing against the Merrimack Tomahawks on Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. Jay will be here in the booth. Nice goal here. Coming around the corner, Lily Marshall gets her second. Feed from up top. I didn't see who the assist came from, but looked like one of the midfielders, perhaps Jackie Hayes, with the feed into Marshall. That is a guess, not an official tally for the assist, but we do know that it was Marshall on the goal.
Yeah, really nice initiative, taking the cut from behind, being present, getting her stick out, and nice shot and nice shot and goal past the goalie.
We'll take a quick timeout. The officials pause for a water break. Again, the heat today, unusual for June 1st, above 90 degrees today in Bedford, New Hampshire. I can imagine it is a scorcher down on that turf. As we know, the turf is usually a bit warmer for the athletes.
A balmy 91.
Balmy it is. And tomorrow is supposed to be high in, well, actually Saturday I think is supposed to be high in the low to mid 60s. So there's New England for you.
Yeah, and for those who haven't played on turf in this type of heat, it really does start to, heat you from below, and there is a serious risk of dehydration and cramps. It gets to be a little bit like you're baking from the bottom up.
And that's the key, too, that the turf retains the heat. Even after the sun sets, it's been sitting in the sun all day, so you can really feel the heat emanating from the turf even after the sun is down.
Yeah, I recall in my career being down on Long Island, for example, in 100-degree days and having to get IVs at halftime.
Ooh.
Not my favorite way to play a lacrosse game.
That sounds fun. No, those must have been, what, like Empire State Games kind of things? Summertime, right? It's not college lacrosse at that point.
We would play, yeah, that was actually college. College down on the island. Down on Long Island or Wrong Island, depending on where you're from.
Strong Island.
Strong Island,
with
yeah.
a hard G, Strong Island.
Absolutely. But it's just part, and that's what I say, this is part of playoff lacrosse. Dealing with this versus March when you start, you're all cold, bundled up. And here you go, trying to make sure you hydrate and stay liquidated.
Yeah, no sweatpants and sweatshirts for any of the players today. 19-3 is your score, 13-13 left in the game. The Bulldogs lead by 16. As we expected, we're starting to see some of the less frequently used players for the Bulldogs. Leah LeBlanc, the sophomore midfielder, is down on the attacking side. Taking the draw was Ellie Enners, and Abdel Sayed comes up with the loose ball again. Long strides into the offensive area. Now she'll settle things down and pass over to Gibson. I think that got lost in the sun there, as we were talking about that at the start of the second half. The yellow ball does not help with that, but sometimes you might see some players roll it along the turf instead of that normal pass, just to avoid that potential error with the sun.
Yeah, and credit to Merrimack. They're really extending, playing hard, continuing along, even though they've got a big deficit.
Denon gets the edge, and she'll score. So Natalie Denon gets a goal to go along with her assists on the afternoon, and the Bulldogs push it to 20-3.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we talked about, Corey. Just as I say, good on them for extending. That puts you at a little bit of risk with if the offender beats the defender, you got no one home to come and close.
And usually those defenders with their heels on the fan can help adjacent. That near defender can scoot over, shuffle over, and help with that challenging situation. But as the defense gets spread out, it becomes harder and harder. (20-3), we're back to the draw. Center circle, this time Maddie Kiley will take it for the Bulldogs.
So what do you think, Corey, as we talk about the playoffs, getting to play better and better competition? Obviously, Bedford has this game in hand. What do you think Coach is going to talk to her women about going into the next game that may be tougher?
Well, fundamentals, right? Put this game behind you quickly. This game was a wide margin early in the first half, and they have to go back to their fundamentals. Shot high here by the Tomahawks, backed up behind. Again, the Bulldogs, if they stay with what they've had success with all year, offense generating through midfield, offense generating through O'Brien from behind, they're going to have success. Again, they were able to beat all of their New Hampshire foes this year. I wouldn't say handily. There were a couple close games there, specifically against Portsmouth and Bishop Girton. And then their only other real competition came from out-of-state games. So, I would guess Coach Hodgson's going to continue to coach on off-ball movement, working their offense, ball possession when they need it, and cashing in on their opportunities. Again, they don't want to go stick side high each time and get shut out on the doorstep.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially this time of year as well. I know a lot of people out there are still stinging from the Celtics loss in Game 7, but you see the regular season means nothing when you get to this time of year.
Absolutely. Nice goal here by Peyton Trapani. Her second of the day, assist by Lily Marshall. 20-4 is the game score. Bulldogs lead at 16. So yes, and the other thing that comes to mind as you make that analogy to the Celtics is something that absolutely killed them in Game 7 was turnovers.
Yep.
The Bulldogs have done well with their stick skills, their talent, their knowledge for the game, and their experience getting into deep playoff runs. They are knowledgeable enough to know that those turnovers are just killers. You don't even have an opportunity to score when you have those turnovers. So limiting turnovers, of course, is going to be high priority for Coach Hodgson as well.
Yeah, and when it comes deep into these playoff runs, hustle and experience are the two things that get you through the momentum, the ebbs and flows of a game. And I think Bedford's prepared for that.
Grogan here with the ground ball off of the draw. Up quickly to Gibson. Defended on that far side by Kylie Perella. Now Denon behind. Purnell will settle things down. (20-4) is your score. 8.5 to go in the game. Running clock. These Bulldogs again working their offense, being patient, looking for cutters though still throughout that offensive area.
It looks like Bedford still has a nice mix of starters and reserves in the game. I think that's a good thing too. It allows the reserves the opportunity to play with the first string and not have to have a little bit of a let off there. Creates continuity for the team.
Great little dip dodge there, a little face dodge by Kira Abdel Sayed. Left her defender in the dust. Dished it off far side. I believe that was Maddie Kiley. She was fouled on the way by, so she'll have a free position. Low angle shot. Dodges, gets high side, but now double teamed. So you do have some players playing out of position here too. Kira Abdel Sayed, normally a starting defender. She's running through the midfield now, trying to give O'Brien and Enners and Matthews some time on the sideline, as you mentioned, keeping their legs fresh for that Saturday tilt. We do have a final again. Nashua South won that 4-5 matchup, 9-7. So before I get ahead of myself, it is 20-4. Make that 21-4 as Kylie beats her player and scores low on Shorette. I think it's safe to say the Bulldogs will be playing on Saturday evening, 7 p.m. against Nashua South in that semifinal matchup.
Goal assisted for number 3, Maddie Kiley.
Yeah, really nice play there, though, by Kylie. Was able to come along the baseline with her left hand, shield the ball past her defender, and able to dribble it through past the goalie's legs. Nice ball protection there.
We look back to that matchup for Bedford as they traveled to Nashua South. That was on May 19th, so not too long ago. The Bulldogs were able to take home victory 13-8 in that matchup, so one of their closer games of the season. And South will look to limit Bedford's offense in that Saturday evening tilt this coming. We go under 6 minutes to go in this game. 21-4 is your score. We're back to the draw. Maddie Kiley pops it up to herself and controls that as they head back to the offensive end. Again, the boys will be in action here on Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. They will also be playing the Merrimack Tomahawks in that game. The boys team ended with a record of 11-5 in the regular season. Merrimack was 10-5, just below Bedford in the rankings. Abdel Sayed cutting through the middle. Fans getting excited as they want Abdel Sayed to come up with a goal here. The regular season matchup on the boys' side, the Bulldogs won 15-5 in that head-to-head down at Merrimack. So they will square off again. Push here by the Tomahawks. We'll give the ball back to Dacos.
Man, what a difference a couple weeks makes. I remember I was down at that Merrimack game, cold, wondering why I didn't pack enough clothes. Here we are.
Foul in the middle. Denon will now have an 8-meter free position as we get down to 4 minutes.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we've seen Bedford, and I hope to see them continue with it. The cuts, the active movement across the crease is yielding a ton of goals for them.
Abdel Sayed comes up with the rebound behind. You don't normally see that much excitement on a 22nd goal of a game, but Abdel Sayed is not a normal scorer, so the senior is excited to put one past Chorette. And she'll trot back to the defensive end, get some congratulations from her defensive line mates. And a big smile is on Abdel Sayed's face.
Yeah, good for her. Awesome to see a senior defender get a chance like that in a playoff game. A lot of hard work.
We'll tick down to 3 minutes as we're back to the draw circle. Addie Kiley in for the Bulldogs. I believe that is Lily Marshall for the Tomahawks. That's an empty check. So Jackie Hayes will come away with it for the Tomahawks. Pass is intercepted by Audrey Purnell. Right there in the passing lane. Snagged it right out of the air.
Yeah, right place, right time. Good riding by the Bedford offense. Dacos and others crashing the ball, creating that turnover.
And that's something Coach Hodgson has preached all throughout, is that hustle on those clearing plays, frequently seeing that starting attack come back and making it tough for the clearing defense. That hustle can create turnovers and restore possession for the Bulldogs. We tick down under 2 minutes to go here in the game. 22-4 is your score. Bulldogs up big here in quarterfinal playoff action. Again, we will put them into the semifinals as they will take on Nashua South on Saturday evening at Exeter. Coach Hodgson has to be pleased with this effort. The Bulldogs have led nearly wire to wire here.
Yeah, and going back on those rides, that's one of the really nice things to see about and actually you see with successful teams is the toughness. You lose the ball, you want to go get it back and willing to go fight for it. And I think Bedford's been able to show that a couple times, a lot of times actually today.
You mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, a very experienced team here. Coach Hodgson is relying on these senior and junior class leaders to provide some guidance and experience during this playoff run. Nice victory here this evening. They will take on South on Saturday, and then in the other bracket, the number 2 seed Portsmouth again will take on Souhegan, and the number 3 seed Dover will take on the 6 seed BG. Exeter hosts the playoffs this year. And we're down to 30 seconds to go here in the game. One last push here by Lily Marshall. Up quickly, here is Haley Rivet. Cross formation, can't make the connection, cutting Ava Martin. Wasn't able to scoop that up. Hustle on that far sideline. The Tomahawks will come up with it. 10 seconds now. Marshall can't connect in the middle to Peyton Trapani. And that'll do it as it ticks down 2, 1, and 0. Final horn sounds. The Bulldogs come away with victory. 22-4 is your final score. Congratulations on their playoff win. Congratulations to this senior class of 7 as they move on. Jay, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, I think credit to Merrimack. They came out and played hard, but just didn't have a chance with a Bulldog team hitting on all cylinders today. Really dominating performance. Good to see the women move on.
Scoring summary, I won't go through all 22 goals, but scorers leading the way were Sydney Grogan with 4, Ellie Enners with 4, 3 each for Liv Matthews and Regan O'Brien. A smattering of 2-goal and 1-goal scorers as well. Congratulations again to the Bulldogs as they take home victory and move on in the playoffs. For the entire BC TV crew, Andrew Fenn on camera. Grand Poobah Bill Jennings was here earlier, needed to sneak out as the playoffs are quite active throughout Bedford this afternoon. Jay, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate you joining me. I'm Corey Munster Tiger for the BC TV crew. Have a great evening and good luck to the Bulldogs.